I have one thing on my mind. Jordan Hancock fled from Clemson to Ohio State. Eat it, Dabo. Hey guys, how's it going? It's great. It's a Saturday morning. I have one thing on my mind. If you haven't heard, Clemson and all of South Carolina and everyone who cheers for those Tigers are up in arms because Jordan Hancock, their beloved cornerback commit, flipped to Ohio State. And you would honestly think that the world is ending. Okay, not really, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but eat it, Dabo. Why? Because Jordan Hancock fled from Clemson to Ohio State. Every Clemson fan is having a coronary about it. They're assuming that Ohio State negatively recruited Jordan Hancock to flip, to come to them, or money was involved, what have you, what have you, what have you. Well, guess what? Literally none of that happened. Even in a video that Jordan had with Jeremy Birmingham from Letterman Row, he clearly says Ohio State did not negatively recruit them. So they're just upset. I'm over it, whatever. This video was very interesting. It clearly gives a point of view directly from Jordan. And he says what I thought was a main takeaway and honestly would be a very big factor for me. Even when I was being recruited, you know, because clearly I was really good. Everyone wanted me. But he said that Coach Ryan Day offered him a spot before he was even ranked. I think there's something to be said about a coach who already sees the potential and value in you and is wanting you before you're ranked. There's a lot of programs and a lot of coaches who take you for face value. Like, they only want you when you're ranked. They only want you when you're something, when you're on a national radar. And I think Ohio State can really pride itself on not doing that. Like, they see the raw talent, and Coach Day told him, he said, don't forget who loved you first. Sold. Honestly, sold. That's a point for Ohio State, not a point for Clemson. Clearly that was big. He said something else that stood out to him during the recruiting process was that when Coach Combs came back to Ohio State after leaving the NFL, Hancock said that on the first or second day back in office, he made it a priority and went to visit his school. He said that went a long way just because it showed that to him, he was a priority. So again, another big thing. In addition, he said that they were very respectful of his decision to Clemson. They respected him. They thought it was good for him. They were happy for him. They were supportive. I think that also speaks volumes. They clearly wanted him. He went to Clemson. They're still respecting him. And on top of that, even though he had already made his commitment, clearly going to Clemson, which Ohio State keeps taking the L's to, unfortunately, that hurts for me to say it, but it's true. They would still text him and they would still keep in touch with him and ask how he was doing, how his family was doing. I don't know. That speaks volumes of the program, how the coaches are, and that's what he said. He felt valued, he felt important. Clearly they wanted him and cared about him as a person, first and foremost. And I think that's what went into his decision to flip to Ohio State, was how he was cared for, how he was treated, how he was respected, how before he was ranked and came onto this national radar, Coach Day still wanted him. Coach Day saw his pure raw talent, his potential, and wanted him from the start. And if I'm being recruited, when I was being recruited for all these just huge programs, that's always something that you want. It's something your parents want for you, your family wants. You want to go somewhere where you're cared for because that's who's gonna change you. I mean, you go into a program from high school, that's what's gonna morph you, honestly, into the person that you're going to be. It's a very valuable time for you. It's a very important time. And I think you want to make sure you're in a place where you feel cared for, where you feel respected, where you feel valued. I don't know, I think that's a big difference. Clearly, I don't know what went into Clemson's recruiting process for Hancock specifically. I don't know what that looked like. I'm sure I could look it up and read about it. But just strictly knowing, I watched that interview, like I said, with Birmingham from Letterman Row. I think watching that is really all you need to know, that Ohio State did not negatively recruit Jordan. It was everything that went into it leading up to it. So if I had to listen to one more Clemson fan think that we negatively recruited him or gave him money or anything that's not true, I might just send them the link to that video. But of course, a lot of them are like, well, he's just saying that to try and make Ohio State look better, make himself look better, blah, 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 blah. No. Ohio State did what they needed to do. They established a relationship with him. They proved to him that they cared for him as a person, as an individual, went from there. So, but I just wanted to put it out there that Dabo Swinney can literally eat it. Clemson can eat it. And you lost your cornerback. And I'm sorry about it. I'm not sorry about it. But I don't know. Ohio State is ranking them in. So they're doing something right with the recruiting process. Just let them keep doing it because they've absolutely demolished the game this year. There might not be football in the fall, but I tell you what, someone can win a championship for recruiting in 2020. It's us. It's the Bucks. So that's pretty much all I have. This video is just, like I said, shut up every Clemson fan who's trying to say that Ohio State enticed Hancock with money or negatively recruited them and used Clemson in a bad name, which did not happen. Please stop. Watch the interview with Letterman Rowe. Do your research. I hope that if you hear a Clemson fan try and dispute this whole flip, that you just give them these little facts I spilled out for you. Put in some of those comments from Jordan himself, and always remember, go Bucks, baby!